Well, here we are. Welcome to episode 114. Welcome, folks, on Instagram. Facebook guys are just checking in. Episode 114 here. We're going to rock with WhysAdvice. So give you a second to get in, get settled. It's Sunday night. It's Labor Day weekend. Hopefully most of us are off tomorrow. Donna, good evening to you. Kathy, hello. Good to see you. Linda, checking in from Indiana. Sandra, good evening to you. Susan, always checking in from Hawaii. I'm glad we moved you there. That's very cool. Margie, checking in from St. Pete. Very nice. Elise from Wheaton, good evening to you. Yvette, good evening to you. Checking in. Hi. Christine says hello. Diane, good to see you always. John, good to see you, sir, from Louisiana. Very, very nice. Arkansas, Lee is checking in. Becky from Wisconsin. No sound over on Instagram. Hang on, give me a second over here on Facebook. No sound Instagram? No? The Instagram folks say there's no sound, so we need to get that checked in first. Okay, cool. So, all right, Instagram can hear me, so maybe someone has their volume turned down. That's happened to me a couple times. There we go. Cool. All right, so let's see what else. So, LaShandra, good. Thank you. Liz, thank you for being able to confirm that. So, I don't know. Turn the volume up. Long Beach, Kim, whoop whoop. Very nice. Let's see. So we got a bunch of Becky. We got you from Wisconsin. Andrea, good evening. Ashley is here. Iowa, Sheila's checking in. Sharon, good to see you. First time here. Very nice. Always like it when the folks check in for the first time. And hopefully that it lives up to your expectation. That's always my fear, right? When someone goes, this is my first time, I'm like, man, please let this be the show that lets them stick around. So the format is we come in, we hang out, we chat for 10 minutes or so or less. I have episode 114 right here, ready to go. And as soon as we get everyone in, settled, checked in, then you'll get to see the show recorded live. And then I'll push the show out to the servers, and then it'll be all over the place. So Sharon, thanks for checking in. Paulette from Southern California, very nice. Norfolk, Virginia, Vicky's checking in. Long Island, Karen. Washington State, Gail's checking in. So I think we got all four corners covered. Terry, good evening to you. Jana from, is it Jana or Jana? Jana, I'm going to say from South Carolina. That's where I was born. Lake Worth, Florida is checking in on Instagram. Justin, North Carolina. Henderson, Kentucky. Julie's checking in. Orange County, California. Wendy's checking in. Georgia, April's checking in. Man, you guys are just crazy. Joanne's checking in while on vacation. Paula, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a bit. Good evening to you. Hershey, Pennsylvania. Sparks, Nevada. New Jersey. Michelle. Maine. Andrea's got Maine locked up. Ashland, Virginia is always checking in too over on Instagram. Joni, good to see you always. Thank you. Let's see. Florida's in the house. So episode 114 is here. You guys ready for 114? I got my water. Do you have you guys have water ready? For those of you who are new, this is a BYOW party. So you got to have your own water. So Kim is checking in. She's eating 3 points of vegan bacon. That's awesome. Kim says, I'm eating 3 points of vegan bacon, which I don't recommend, by the way. Come on, Kim, if you're eating 3 points of bacon, you got to enjoy it. I think you can get some center cut bacon. That's not too far off. But yeah, no, I agree. Chris, good evening. Yo. Man, I can't wait to see your latest film, dude. I saw a lot of the previews on your Instagram channel. And I want to send you, if you haven't already, Chris, I'll shoot you a text later. But you need to Google and get the rights to the song by Kenny Chesney called "The Boys of Fall." So it will fit right into your it'll fit right into your film. Even if you can't use it because of rights or whatever, if you listen to that song, "The Boys That Fall," there's a long version where Sean Payton does an intro, and then he does an exit thing that's just absolutely it'll put your mind in the right spot. So, which is what, as you know, what we work on. So, cool. So, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Yeah, Lee says if you don't like it, don't eat it. Right. So, Jason's checking in live for the first time. Very cool. All kinds of first-time viewers. Well, let's give you guys all what you came for. Let's get episode 114 in the books. So one of the couple things we do, for those of you who are new, we do two things. We're going to have some water before the show. You got to get that done. We're going to do a sound check. And while I'm in the middle of my sound check, you guys are going to tell me all the cool things that are happening in your life. And then what I will do is I will pick a couple of them when I come back from the sound check, and I will write them in to the handy dandy journal, because I call it the non-scale victory journal, because I noticed I asked you a lot to write down what we call your non-scale victories. And I believe that most of you, it's okay, but I believe that most of you weren't writing them down when I told you to. Or asked you to. Let's be polite. When I asked you to, you weren't writing them down. So I figured I would take that upon myself I would document them for you. So you tell me what your non-scale victories are, things that are going right in your life, things you're proud of, things you're celebrating. I'll go do a sound check. I'll check in with you. We'll write a couple down, and we'll roll into 114. Dun, 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 dun. Hang on. What's that?
I'm home and I'm safe.
One more time.
I'm home, I'm safe.
Oh, so my wife just went to the grocery store, and I didn't want her going alone because it's late. And she's like, I'm going to go to the grocery store. And I asked her not to go, and then she went anyway, so she just let me know she's home and she's safe. Cool. All right, here we go. Sound check. Mic check, testing 1 2, testing 1 2 3. Audio check 1 2 3 4 5. All right, that checks out good. Let's see what we got here. Scrolling, I'm going to scroll up a little bit and see. See some on Instagram. Denise says, I am home and I'm safe. You heard that? I have a hard time hearing. All right, let's get this one documented first. So this one says, Olivia Alexander says, today I did my hardest hike ever and felt strong the whole time. That's what it's all about. You know, it's this, everything we talk about, we'll get a couple more in there, but I just want to show you what we're doing. Everything we talk about here is all based on feelings. You know, we feel better, we feel healthier. When you can start recognizing that, it's very fun. So, Kim over on Instagram saying, wearing a dress you couldn't even close to squeeze into on a wonderful date with your husband last night. How fun is that? Right? I mean, when you go out and you put on I haven't put on a dress in a long time, but when you put on a dress and you feel awesome, isn't that cool? Ha! I like this one. Deb says, I'm able to wear t-shirts that my 12-year-old son has outgrown. Wendy saying, wearing a large uniform shirt. Let's get this one written down. Let's see. John Dobbs says, today I donated 2 bags of clothes that were too big, minus 50 pounds. So what's cool about that is I've asked you guys too when you're on this process is as soon as something gets too big, you can always wear something that's half a size too big. A size too small is hard to wear. So the reason that's important is because you can lose enough weight to drop a size or two, but you don't feel like you've done anything because you're wearing the same clothes. If you drop down to normal size clothing, things that actually fit snug, then you start feeling even more powerful about your journey. So that's pretty powerful too. Lots of good stuff in here. Oh, sorry. Let's get this one here. I was gonna end, but one just popped in that made me go, yeah, I'm writing that down. Alicia McCauley says, today I stood up to a stranger who called me fat in Target today. Way to go. Way to take control of your life. Way to understand that that person's just a complete moron. Way to understand that you're doing things that are improving your life and it doesn't matter what that person thinks. And way to let them know, again, that they're absolutely crazy because of it. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and get this thing rolling. Episode 114. Cheers. I didn't have a good seal on the bottom. Well, hello, cheers, Chris. Good evening to you. All right, let's do it. Testing 1. All right, audio checks there. Good. All right, episode 114 coming up. You guys ready? Yvette says it would make you sick to drink that much water at once. I am your host, FatDag, and you're listening to WhysAdvice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at FatDag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at WhysAdvice. Send in your comments, your questions, and your celebrations, and I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello, welcome to episode 114 of WhysAdvice, and it's a great weekend, great Labor Day weekend. Hope all is going well for you. If you're catching this on the replay, then just know that every weekend is the same. It doesn't matter if it's a holiday weekend or not. but this specific show is being recorded over Labor Day weekend. And man, we're on Facebook celebrating, we're on Instagram celebrating, having a great time, letting you know all the cool things that are going on. One of my favorite parts that we do in the live segment, if you haven't caught that before, just before we go live on for the show on Facebook and Instagram, I ask you for your non-scale victories. I want to know some of the things that you're celebrating because I always ask you to write them down. And I'm confident that many of you are just not doing that. So I've started a non-scale victory journal that I like to write some of your highlights down. And man, some of the things you write in that I wish I could write them all down, but we'd never get a show recorded. But some of the things you guys are sharing, that's what's confirming for me that we're on the right path, that we're doing the right thing, that we are making a difference in our own lives, and we're recognizing a feeling, and that feeling is what we can tap into that drives us to goal. As I opened the show, I said, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk this journey together, and I mean that, and I really do. And I want to take a pause from the normal segment just to kind of give you an update of where we are. We're 114 episodes in the books. We're coming real close to 1 million downloads. I get emails and comments and tags about folks who are just continuing to tune into the show for the first time, who are finding it. That's all happening because you're sharing it. You're spreading the word and you're letting other people know that this is working for you. This is the tool that you're using to help shape your journey, and you're honored to share it. And so the fact that I watch you do that really brings a lot of joy to my heart, because that's the part that I was looking for more than anything, is that we could continue to make a difference. So with that, I got big plans for the show. There's a lot of things. When I started the show early on, I had no expectations that this would take off. I didn't even know what we were going to do with it, but it really has. And early on, there was a handful of folks who believed in me, who kind of provided some of the financial backing to help me kind of keep some of this stuff on the road. I was able to get a lot of it done. I did early on out of my own pocket. And then this small group came up and said, hey, let us help you cover some of the cost. So those guys have been doing that for me, and I really appreciate that. I'm in the works of finding someone who's going to actually sponsor the entire show to help do that. And that's going to allow us to grow in a sense that I want to bring on guests. I want to bring on interviews. I want to bring on a co-host on occasion. I want to record 4 or 5 shows in advance so that we can do a live show. And then the nights that I can't do a live, I can push out a recorded show, so that this continues to be an everyday focus, because I truly believe it's that everyday focus is what it takes to get it done. So I just want to kind of give you that heads up. All that's going to take some more time and effort. There's going to be, some more editing time. I'm going to have to find, some new digital tools that I got to invest in. And so if you want to be a part of that, I'll simply ask, I'm not going to ask you a ton of time, just going to put it out there. If you go to FatDag.com, you click on the Listen Now tab, scroll down, you'll see a button that says Become a Patron. For as little as $1 a month, if you just want to go ahead and make a monthly contribution, the power of our numbers can make all of that possible. If you're unwilling to, unable to, don't want to, don't worry about it. That's not the intent. The intent is to grow in that direction, but if for some reason we don't do that, that's my why. My why is to grow it bigger than this has ever thought it had to be. If that's not the way we'll do it, I will find the way to do it. So if you want to be a part of that, that's how you do it. But let's go ahead and dive in. Susan's email out of the gate says, Dear Mike, episode 89 got to my heart. My story isn't over, so I'm sending in a celebration first. I'm celebrating 6 months at 170 pounds, a lifetime goal set by my doctor and I. He said I most likely couldn't get to a 155-pound Weight Watcher goal without skin removal. He said it would most likely take years. We thought that I would get discouraged and fail my way back to 296 pounds. Yes, 296. That's a story for a later date. Well, after 6 months at maintenance, the last 2 of those 6 months, I'm happy to say that I'm down 6.6 pounds. I'm closing in on that 155 pounds, even possibly going lower. I'm wanting to finally reach that feeling of saying, okay, no more. I can't even imagine what it's going to feel like after weighing 296 pounds. These last 6.6 pounds are credit to my determination that I get from listening to your podcast. They have been a game changer. I will always feel so blessed to have read one of your first emails telling us your story. You have really helped me so much. I bet for you to know that me getting to that feeling of you saying no more is all you really want in return. So I'm happy to say that it's so close that I can almost feel it. Thanks again, and I will always be grateful for following you on Connect. I will always share wise advice with anyone that isn't already listening and needs your help. Thanks so much for all you do for the Connect family. Susan. Susan, wow, what a great accomplishment. You've got to feel incredible. Now, you opened up, you said, your story isn't over. No, your story isn't over, and your story will never be over. So let's think about that for a second. This is a lifetime journey. It has many stages. It has a weight loss stage. It has a maintenance stage. And then it has this stage called lifetime that we just kind of balance for the rest of our life. So no, your story will never be over, which is great because it's such an amazing story. When you started at 296 pounds, 155 pounds, even 170 pounds isn't something you even understand what it looks like. But you set out to do it. And so you set out on a journey not knowing what the destination was, and you got there. You and your doctor set your goal of lifetime, and that's the way to do it, is you sit with your doc and say, Doc, what can we do together? Your doctor set your 170-pound goal. You got there, and then you took it upon yourself to continue and just focusing on being healthy and eating healthy, getting some exercise. And as I've said many times on this show, if you focus on your health, if you focus on making healthy choices with your food, if you focus on getting some sort of activity, the body will shed what it doesn't need. And that's what's pushing you even closer to 155 when you didn't even think it was possible, because you're not focusing on that. Your focus is getting healthy and being healthy, and then your body takes over and does what it needs to do. Now, you credit, your determination, which I credit your determination, but listening to the podcast is just a tool in your belt. I'm completely honored to walk with you. I'm completely honored to provide just a little bit of motivation, inspiration, or whatever it is that you're getting from the show. But I need you to know that as soon as you're done listening, you have to, at that point, take it upon yourself to put that into action. That's where the success comes from. The success comes from you and your hard work. It's not just listening to the show. So listening to the show and listening to what other folks write in, it's extremely powerful. I agree with that. The powerful part of that is it teaches us to reframe our mind, believe in ourselves, and then we take the action on our own to go get it done. And that's exactly what you've done. Now, you're absolutely right. I'm glad that you put this into words, because it actually did make me smile when I read it. The number one thing I want is for you to join me at Lifetime. That's it. I don't need anything else. I was able to, because the Connect community showed me the way, and I dug deep and found my own way, and we were able to get this done for me and get to Lifetime. That was something I didn't know was possible. And now that I'm here, I want every single person to know that they have the ability to do it. And if you know that and you push forward and get there, that is the reward that I'm looking for, is that you're at the point where you say, I did it. And then you start over maintaining it for the rest of your life. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing the podcast with anyone who isn't already listening. And again, as we know, it's completely my honor to walk this journey with you, Susan. So thank you for all of your support. I look forward to you and I chat on Facebook quite often, and that's a highlight of my day often as well. So thank you, Susan, for that. Beth writes in and says, your comments on focus, complacency, and working the program really helped me break through to my third mini goal. Every day I begin to believe that I can actually get to my goal. Given my age and the length of time I've been significantly overweight, I'm afraid that when I get to goal, I still won't like the way my body looks, and I'll lose the motivation to maintain. I do like wearing smaller clothes. I make it a point to wear clothes that fit even during the weight loss. I try to be wise about it by having some things altered, buying nice looking but cheaper items that look good through several shrinking sizes. But you know how hard we can be on ourselves. Do you have any comments about older folks who still have a lot of excess skin once they've lost the weight? Beth. Well, Beth, I do. And so you got to bear with me for a second, because this is a real part of this journey. For many of us, this is a reality that we're going to have to accept. And so for so long, in order to get to the point where we have done that, where we're going to have excess skin when we lose the weight, it means for so long we neglected our bodies and we didn't really treat them properly. So now we make that shift and we start treating them properly and we take care of them. What happens is the body at that point does kind of, looks different than we expected it to. But if you go so long and you neglect it, you can't all of a sudden magically in a handful of months expect it to be, this magazine image of what a perfect body should look like. So I take that as a battle scar. I take that as I'm completely focused on my health, which is something that I never ever was before. And so just like you're concerned, that was one of my main concerns as well. And so I was afraid to get to goal because I didn't know what goal would look like. And so here I was, in my case, I was 91 pounds overweight. I did a lot of Google searches, and I kind of got the sense that, if you had over 75 pounds to lose, you were going to have to deal with excess skin. And so my brain limited me and didn't even allow me to want to even see a goal number that was beyond 50, 60 pounds because I didn't want to have loose, saggy skin. And I kept just working the plan. I kept going and being healthy and eating healthy and getting closer and closer and closer. In my case, I got a little bit of excess skin. It really only shows up in my bathroom mirror. My t-shirt covers it pretty well. My jeans cover it very well. The sleeves cover it very well. So it really only shows up when I'm alone in my bathroom mirror. And I don't care, because the things that I'm able to do now, I was never able to do before. Excess skin is way better than tight skin. And that tight skin where you all of a sudden you can't fit in the seat that you wanted to fit into. You can't, you need the seatbelt extender on the airplane. I would much rather have excess skin than ask for a seatbelt extender, because the excess skin means that I took control of my life. My reward is I'm healthier. I'm going to be around a lot longer. I've never looked into the option and possibility of the skin removal surgery. I know folks who have, I don't know personally, I've heard of folks who've done it. But what I want you to focus on is I want you to focus on the fact that what is the end result of this journey? For most of us, we're at the point now where we're later in life. We've finally woken up to what we're trying to do, and we really start focusing on our health. And we define that differently. And, we say we want to be around longer for our kids. We want to be able to run. We want to be able to walk. We want to be off some medication. If you can get off your medications and you can do some physical activity you've never, ever been able to do before, then your excess skin becomes your badge of honor. And that will remind you daily that you fought hard in this battle. And you made such a significant change in your life that you got some battle scars along the way. And those battle scars you ought to be proud of. You really are. And I know it takes a while for us to embrace that. It's not, we think we're going to lose the weight and be a size, a perfect 10 magazine model, and that we weren't that before, so why do we expect that after? Right? So again, we take it, we own it. Maybe there's some supplements to tighten it. Strength training, add some muscle underneath some of that skin. But the piece I want to hit you with the most is that do not let the fear of the unknown stop you. Do not let you not knowing what you're going to look like stop you, because what I want you to understand is that the health benefits you're going to gain by getting to your ideal body weight are going to far outweigh a little bit of appearance that you can hide with a little bit of clothing. So, Beth, keep up your amazing work on your journey. I know you can get there, and I know you're gonna rock this program. And when you get there, I want to hear about it. I want you to reach out and celebrate. Great question, for sure. Sarah writes in and says, "Dear Mike, first of all, I'd like to say thank you for your wonderfully uplifting and inspiring messages. I only found out about your podcast a couple of weeks ago when a woman from my meeting mentioned it to me. I was already following you on Connect, so I decided to check it out. Man, I'm so glad I did. I've loved listening to you on my walks, also in my car, and sometimes in the morning when I'm getting ready for my day. Please keep them coming. They mean so much to me, and I know to so many others. A little about me and my journey. Looking back, I realized I never really had a problem with my weight growing up, and I had a healthy relationship with food. At 18, I joined the United States Navy. I guess it was during these first years on my own that I began to develop some unhealthy eating habits, but it wasn't until I got out of the Navy and the PT stopped that I started to put on some weight. I followed the latest fad diet and I lost 45 pounds within 2 months. I kept that off for a while, then I got married. Before long, my husband and I started putting on the pounds. I had completely lost my healthy relationship with food, and I was now proverbially living to eat and not eating to live. It was at this time, 15 years ago, that I joined Weight Watchers for the first time. Over the past decade and a half, I have tried so many diets, and I've been on and off Weight Watchers at least a dozen times. No matter what I tried, I always seemed to get stuck at about 30 pounds lost. I would eventually gain that back, and then some, and I just kept getting bigger. I would try to make it okay in my head, telling myself that my health was still good, that I was still active, but a couple of years ago, even I had to admit that my health was starting to suffer when I was diagnosed with high blood pressure and put on medication. Still, this was not enough for me. I allowed myself to continue to spiral out of control. It seemed insurmountable to me to lose the kind of weight that I wanted to lose. So I buried my head in the sand. It all came to a head for me on December 9th, 2016. I don't know what exactly changed then, but I woke up that morning with one thought. Enough. I was so tired of feeling the way that I was feeling. I was tired of the ever-present fear that if I kept going the way that I was, I might not be around to see my future or to enjoy my future. I didn't want my children to grow up having the fat mom. I wanted to get off blood pressure medicine. I wanted to wear clothes that I was comfortable in. I wanted to sit in theater seats and airplane seats and ride amusement park rides without a care or concern. I wanted to walk into a room without feeling shame for being the largest one there. I have so many reasons to be doing this, but I've come to realize since that day that my number one why is me, because I am worth it. For so long, I put everyone else's needs ahead of mine. I did so much for others that I forgot about me. Now I'm taking the time for me. I'm being a little selfish, and it feels good. I walked into a meeting that day in December at the heaviest I'd ever been, 310 pounds, and I vowed to myself two things: that I would attend a meeting every week, and that I would track no matter what, good, bad, and ugly. To this day, I have kept both promises. It hasn't always been pretty, and it hasn't always been easy. It certainly hasn't been happening as quickly as I would like to, but I realize that this is a journey, and I have much more to learn along the way. I've had weeks where I went into the negative weeklies by a few hundred, but I tracked it. And I attended my meeting. Some weeks I gained, but more weeks I've lost. I'm down 42 pounds, and I am far from done. The reason I'm writing to you today is because I had a moment today where I kind of lost some of my oomph. It's happened before, and I'm sure it will happen again. I keep managing to pick myself up, but I live in fear that this will be it, that I'll throw in the towel like I have in the past. I'd really like to know how you handle those kind of moments. I had my meeting today, and I lost 0.8 pounds, which isn't as much as I'd expected or hoped, but it's okay because I know that I've done well this week, and my body will catch up eventually. It always does. And I'm also now at my lowest weight yet since I joined in December, so I'm celebrating that. Then at work tonight, I was taking a walk on my break, and I felt good. My clothes are getting loose. People have been commenting on my weight loss. My energy levels are up. I'm on top of the world, and then I caught a glimpse of my reflection in a window as I walked by and thought, oh, still fat. How can I possibly feel so good and still be morbidly obese? It was such a feeling of defeat. I didn't let it take hold, but it scares me sometimes how far I still have to go, and I'm afraid of thoughts like these. How would you handle it? Thanks again for everything. I cannot wait to sit on the other side of the goal line with you, Sarah. Sarah, what a great email. There's a lot going on in here, and it's going to take me a second to kind of piece it out and walk through, but I kind of want to go through it systematically, working back at the beginning. And so thank you, first off, for the folks in your meeting room for sharing for sharing the podcast so that you're able to get tuned in. And then the fact that you're writing in, I'm positive other people heard everything you just said and can relate completely. And so we're going to spend some time talking about it. So I will continue doing this show. This is my now, it's my own way to make sure that I stay accountable. It's my own way to give back to a community that saved my life. So this is on my agenda for a very long time. I promise you that. Thank you so much for your service to the United States Navy. At 18, you joined the Navy. I'm proud of you for doing that, for taking the oath at that point, saying that you will defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and you honored that oath. So thank you. Now let's talk about that. What you wrote in that very first email or your very first paragraph is very common. When many of us, we live at home, we have a healthy relationship with food because somebody else is doing most of the purchasing and all of the purchasing in some cases. What you have to eat in your pantry is all you have to eat when someone else is buying it. We get out on our own, and now we're the ones responsible. There's a disconnect between when someone else purchases it and brings it home, we just eat what's available in the right moderation. And then when we have to start making those healthy choices in the store, we were never educated on what was actually there, and we fall temptation to some of that other stuff that's just not necessarily helpful along our journey. Now, what I want you to kind of think about for a moment is when you were up to age 18, you were completely content with eating whatever was there. So if we can just shift our mind into providing ourselves with the healthy alternatives to everything that we're doing, you'll be okay because you did it for 18 years. So now we just have to, it's the buying of the stuff is where you have to start focusing on the issue. So I want you to get your mindset back to eating in a healthy mode. So obviously over the past decade and a half, you tried so many fad diets and Weight Watchers a dozen times. You always seemed to stuck around 30 pounds and you eventually gain it back and then some. That's very, very common as well. So your first 2-3 paragraphs are exactly what many of us are experiencing. We get to that 30-pound loss. I talk about that in episode 72 about complacency. You feel good down 30 pounds. You feel good down 30 pounds from where you started, but you have no idea how much further you have to go. It's why I really want to focus on having a healthy lifestyle and healthy living, because that is where you can make the significant change. So as you continue to be diagnosed with the disease after disease, and you end up going to the point where you put on high blood pressure medicine, just like you, I thought that should have been my wake-up call. But for 6 years, I was on blood pressure medication, wanting more than anything to get off it, but not knowing how to do it. Just like you, I buried my head in the sand. So what I need you to know, Sarah, as we're halfway through here, what I need you to know is everything you're experiencing is probably experiencing by thousands of people on this planet who can relate to everything that you've said. So welcome to the club. The beautiful thing about this club is this club has an exit strategy. You can get out of this club by doing exactly what you've done. You said, enough. You're tired of feeling this way. You're tired of not seeing your future. You want to wear clothes. You dug into your why very, very well. I'm proud to see that you've done that. I want you to take another step and take that last paragraph where you talk about the fact that you said you had enough, that you're tired of feeling this way. And I want you to outline what all that looks like when you reach your goal. When you reach your goal and those feelings are gone, I want you to then, write that out. Your why is you. You are worth it, and it's not selfish. The reason that it's not selfish is because if you don't take care of you first, there's no one left to take care of everybody else. Your family relies on you. So it's not selfish. It's actually, but you taking care of you first is actually very powerful to keep your family together. And so that is the important piece. That, again, it's just not at all selfish. So now your strategy is very, very awesome. So you did just like me, and so I recognize a lot of parallels in our journey. I walked into the meeting room at the heaviest I'd ever been, and I promised myself two things. I'm going to track everything, and I'm not going to miss a meeting. Those two things, along with, of course, Connect and my support network, but those two things are what got me to just reshape the mind and say, if I have to go to a meeting every single week, and I've committed to going every single week, and I've committed to tracking, then, I will do my best to make sure that everything, I put the effort in to get the results that I want. Now, Sarah, you're down 42 pounds. You're down 42 pounds with many ups and downs along the way. It said it hasn't been pretty, hasn't been easy. You had negative weeklies by a few hundred, and you tracked it. You went to your meeting anyway. So if you did all of that, right, you had negative days, you had this, but you still are down 42 pounds. What you need to understand there is that you can have the success that you're having. You can continue to have success by working the plan exactly the way you've had it. So when you say you've lost some oomph at the moment, what you're in that point where you just need to realize that pulling yourself out continues to push the journey in the right direction. Continuing to dive down and not caring is not in your mind. You know you can do this. You've seen on Connect many people have gotten to this and gotten it done. And so as you're in this little bit of a lull, that's the time where you dig back into those feelings of I've had enough. And you read that why, and you go, yeah, this hasn't solved it yet. As you walk past the reflection, you feel good until you see it, because you feel good compared to your starting point. And many of us don't understand what our end result will feel like or will look like. So what happens is as we lose 42 pounds, which is significant work, it's an amazing accomplishment. We're expecting now that we're going to be, looking fantastic, and we do look fantastic compared to our starting weight. And we look at our goal weight, and we don't know what that looks like, so we can't compare the rest of the journey. So then we take the shift and we put the focus on, well, let me just attending my meetings, let me just continue tracking, let me just continue eating healthy, and let me see what my body is willing to shed, and that will get me to goal. As you focus on why you're doing this, that feeling of defeat goes away. That feeling of defeat turns into pride of you're making a difference daily in your life. The ups and downs are part of the process. Continue to have more up days, positive days, upbeat days. The more of those you mix in here, the quicker and sooner you'll get to goal, and you can live the rest of your life maintaining it. When you get to the other side, when you get to the goal line, there's a whole handful of us on Team Lifetime waiting to greet you with open arms and say, welcome to the team. So thank you for your email. It's an honor to walk this journey with you. I know you can get it done. Next up, Kelly says, I joined Weight Watchers out of envy. The coworker who sat next to me joined Weight Watchers in January 2017. I saw how much she had transformed in just 2 months. I decided to join Weight Watchers in March. What you should know is that I've been living with a BMI of obese for 17 years. It was then that I started taking medication for bipolar disorder, and I gained 50 pounds within a year. Even more, I have eaten myself into high blood pressure and diabetes. I got the diagnosis of diabetes several years ago. I made a half-hearted attempt to lose weight then, but I had no support, and I failed. I figured I was just destined to be fat and sick. By the time I joined Weight Watchers, I was a whopping 236 pounds at 5'6". This week, after 5 months on Weight Watchers, I entered Wonderland. I stared at the scale for a moment because I thought there was something wrong with it. I was looking for it to say 200 something. I couldn't even believe my eyes, and I cried for joy. This journey has not been easy, but it's been worth it. At the 4-month mark, the plan had lost its excitement. I was no longer making amazing changes in the way I looked and I felt as I had in the beginning. I started loosening up on the plan, and the scale stalled at 201 for the whole month of July. I almost gave up, but I had come this far. I returned to the basics. I planned, I tracked, weighing and measuring everything. I stayed within my dailies. I stopped eating when I ran out of points. I went back to getting 10,000 steps a day. I added fun to my workout with dance videos. I shook up my diet and I ate new things. That's when the scale tilted in my favor. In July, I also got some tremendous news. My doctor reviewed my labs with me, and I'm 1/10 of a point away from a normal A1C. Not just pre-diabetic, but normal. My triglycerides, HDL, LDL, everything was normal. My blood pressure was normal. My doctor did not take me off my medications, but he said that if I kept at it, he would take me off my medications in 6 months. FatDag, I fooled myself for so long thinking that my psych medications and my depression destined me for a lifetime of fatness. Today I am halfway to my goal weight. I know I will make it there because I refuse to be sick and fat anymore. I'm running and I'm walking my first 5K this month to celebrate being in Wonderland. The support of my coworker, people on Connect, people at Weight Watchers meetings, and your podcast have made all the difference in this journey. Thank you for all that you do. Kelly. Well, Kelly, you are crushing it. You're doing it. Yeah, I just like you, I give a lot of credit out to folks who've helped me along this journey, and I do every once in a while have to pause and go, you did this for you. You got to the point where all the tools in the world are useless if you don't know how to use them, and more importantly, you don't put them into action. So great job getting that done. Now, I love the opening to your email. You know, your very first sentence out of the gate got my attention. It says, you join Weight Watchers out of envy. That's the hashtag. That's one of my favorite hashtags, is hashtag be the prize. So you sat there and you watched someone else have amazing success on this plan, and you said, you know what, I want a piece of that. And so what I want you to do is exactly what you're doing. You just now entered Wonderland. You are the prize for somebody else. Someone else is watching you right now and saying, wow, if she can do it, I can do it. And that's how we continue to make this community so wonderful, is that we are then showing other people the possibilities. And when you understand the possibilities, you're able to get it done. Now, when you hit Wonderland, one of the things I like to say is I like to call you Alice. Because Alice in Wonderland, that first number on the scale of a 1 is a big deal. It's very hard for that one to go away. So you're going to have that number for the rest of your life. And I'm proud of you. I really am proud of you for getting there. And so you've gotten to the point where you understood in your journey of that there was a complacency part. Your scale stalled around 201 pounds. That absolutely was complacency. And I think a lot of times is as we get to the point where we're focusing so much on the number that we lose sight of the big picture. We kind of lose focus on what we're doing, and we're so focused on trying to get a certain number on the scale, we can't control that. There is nothing you can do to change the number on the scale. You can change your habits, you can change your behavior, you can change what you eat, but you can't change the number on the scale. If you change all your habits and you focus on why you're doing this and you just get free and you reset like you did and you get back to being healthy, the body sheds what it doesn't need, and that's when you instantly broke into this plan. You instantly broke out of that plateau and you got it done. So great job. So you continue to believe in this stuff. We believe that you can do this. And if you eat right, no matter what, it just how it happens. It doesn't matter what diagnosis you have. With all the diagnoses out there that's possible, you can still choose to eat healthy. You can still choose to get a bit of somewhat exercise depending on what you got going on. There is something that you can do. Eating healthy is the biggest one, and you did that, and that is now pushing you forward. So great job with the news from your doctor. I love, your doctor sounds a lot like mine as well. My doctor did the same thing for me. Is when I got down to the point where my blood pressure was normal, he kind of really wanted to see if I was serious. And so he kind of gave me the same thing your doctor gave you, is let's evaluate it for 6 months. Let's see if you can keep this lifestyle going, because I don't want you to put your health at risk by taking you off too early and having you revert. So that right there was the motivation for me to really just cement in my change, because I got what he was telling me to do. And so continue to follow your doctor's advice. That's the most important piece. Continuing to do everything you know, but your numbers are all normal. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that what you set out to do in the beginning? Isn't that what you were envious of when your coworker sat next to you and had all that success? They were living a healthy, happy lifestyle, and you wanted a piece of it, and now you went and got it for yourself. And now you're running 5Ks. You're halfway to your goal weight. Kelly, you are getting it done. I'm proud of you. And as you're getting it done, it's the ultimate way to pay it forward. By showing other people that they too can get this done. That they too can have a bipolar disorder diagnosis. They can gain 50 pounds in a year. They can eat themselves into a high blood pressure and diabetes, and then they can turn it all around if they just believe that it's possible. If you live a healthy lifestyle, it sinks in and you change your life, and we celebrate. Well, what is it that you're celebrating? Let's share it on the air. Go to FatDag.com, click on Listen Now, send in your comments, your celebrations. I want you to work them in, because just as we talk about every episode of the show, is very few of us are walking this journey completely 100% a way that no one else on the planet is doing it. Everything we talk about, somebody else can experience, someone else can relate to, and as you share your story, it opens them up to explore their own story, and you show them that you can get it done, and they believe that they can get it done. I want you to email in those celebrations, and I really want you to be proud of everything that you're doing. This isn't easy. At times, this is very difficult. And if you just continue pushing forward and you do your best every single day, regardless of what life has thrown at you for the day, you reevaluate that day and do your best for that day, and you push forward, You can do amazing work. You can have some ups and downs in the plan and still trend down to a healthy, happy life. And that's what I want for you. I want you to join us on Team Lifetime. I want you to be the prize. I want you to reach your goals. I want you to live a happy, healthy life. Well, that's going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Kim, good evening to you over on Instagram. So now what we do is we spend a little bit of time just kind of catching up. I don't dig too deep into your previous comments. So if there's something I missed, go ahead and this would be the time to kind of re-enter those comments in, because like I said, I don't scroll back too far. But cool. So Kim, thank you over on Instagram. Thank you for that. Very, very cool. Alicia, thank you. Elise, thank you. Good to see you. Always cool. Yeah. So Chris, that's Chris, when I said that line, I said that along my journey. I didn't realize how powerful that was, but you get to the point where you reach goal before the scale knows that you've done it. Let's see. So when you get to that point where you say, hey, I'm at goal mentally, the scale has no idea. That is the powerful part of this journey. So Chris, you're at goal, and who cares if the scale knows it? You're living a healthy, happy life. That's the goal. The goal is to be healthy and happy. And eat right and get some exercise. If you're doing all that, you're at goal. Doesn't matter what you weigh. If you do that for the rest of your life, you eat healthy, you work out a little bit, you eat right, and you keep your mind positive, your body will be like, dude, we can't deal with all this extra stuff, and it gets rid of it. So you're at goal for sure. Very cool. Sorry for a little bit of rant. You got me there. Every once in a while, someone says something that just gets me. Donna, thank you for that. Jill, anything worth fighting for is worth fighting for. So Kim is asking over on Instagram, what things do I do to distract yourself from wanting to eat in excess of your points? Man, I celebrate all the cool things. I'm celebrating the fact that I'm wearing a medium t-shirt. I'm celebrating the fact that I'm wearing a 31-inch pants that I could never ever wear. I'm not giving that up. I just, man, very cool. Steven got $100 for Project LIFT. Very cool, Steve. I haven't done, I have too many things going, I guess. Project LIFT for us is October 21st, so I will switch gears into that in a couple weeks. But good job, Steve. Very cool. Chris, thank you. Robin says thank you. Great show. Thank you. Sandra says thank you. Paulette, thank you. Kathy, thank you. Pam, thank you. Yeah, Ellen's exactly right. The scale is just a robot. It's just a piece of metal. You hop on it, it gives you a number. It doesn't mean anything. Trust me, I get it, right? So, I've had a scale my entire life. I weigh myself every single day. There are even days like tomorrow morning is going to be one of those days where I'm going to wake up and go, not so sure I should get on today, but I will because I know the results, but I also know that I can continue to eat healthy and live healthy and be happy and get it done. And so that is it's just a piece of metal that tells you what you weigh, kinda. So Jill, thank you for that. Teresa, so thank you. So yeah, Tony is the awesome leader up in Chicago. So Tony is the man. So tell Tony, thank you for that. Man, I like that guy a lot. Very cool. Well, Stephen, sure, you still need to beat the scale in the long run, but you have no control over it, right? You can't You can't say I want to be 106 pounds and just go make it happen. What you can say is I want to eat right, I can work out, I can be healthy. And so if your goal is to have a certain number, then you have to change the way you live and you have to change the way you eat. But you can't just say, this is the number I want, so therefore I'll just wait until the number gets here. You have to actually work towards that number. So, yeah, I mean, the number matters to some extent. I get it, but really what it is we lost Instagram. Sorry, Instagram folks. I didn't see the warning on that one. But the whole point is that you can't force a number. You can force the habits, and the habits dictate what the number looks like. That's the whole point of that. So, yeah, Crystal, positive mind is the hard piece. You really gotta focus on that. And so when you focus on that, a lot of stuff changes for you. Trevor, thank you. You needed to hear this tonight after enjoying a family picnic, I'm thinking, with lots of good food. You got to run extra hard. So no, you don't have to run extra hard, kind of, right? So don't confuse that, right? So you don't use exercise as a punishment for what you ate, because that's not the right mindset. So if you eat and overeat, which happens, and then you say, well, because I overate, I need to go work out, then you're slowly teaching your brain that your activity is a punishment for your eating behavior. Your activity should be a celebration for all the amazing things that your body can do, and that makes you want to then eat healthier. So if you want to go run hard tomorrow, go run hard tomorrow, but you're going to run hard tomorrow because you can, not because you overate today. It's a slight differentiation in your mind, but that is extremely powerful. So hopefully that helps a little bit. And I see the laughy face, so I know you're probably half kidding, but no. So go run and celebrate that you can. Jill, Project Lift, I think probably Steve's going to answer it. Project Lift is Weight Watchers fundraiser for breast cancer survivors and breast cancer research. So, Nikki, thank you for being here. Very good. So, Robin, get rid of your scale at home is the best thing you ever did. You weigh in once a week and that's it. So, I'm just the opposite, Robin. That is a great, there's no right answer here. So, I need to see the daily fluctuations. If you're, but I see the ups and the downs. If you get demotivated by a slight gain in your scale, then weighing in once a week, those little ups and downs can balance themselves out. So what's working for you is to do it once a week. Perfect. What works for me is to do it daily. So I do it daily. There's no right or wrong answer. And so it's all on how you can perceive the data and understand the data. And that works. So very, very fun. Tressa, thank you. Is it Tressa or it looks like Teresa? Sorry. Thank you for your kind note. Lonnie, how do I deal with muscle soreness when you add new exercise or increase your strength training? I got it right now. I have my back right here. I did some pull-ups on Friday, and so now these muscles are a little tender. So how I handle that is I will work them again. I take a day off from them, and I use some different muscles on my next workout. But muscle soreness tells me that what I'm doing is working. I actually get disappointed if I do a workout and don't get sore at this stage in my journey. When I was losing weight, that soreness would cause me to take a couple days off, and that's not what I'm after. Now, I consider that the proof that I'm doing something right. So I just deal with, it depends on where you're at in your journey, I guess is the answer. So if that soreness is causing you to take 3, 4, 5 days off, then what I would ask you to do is then back up the intensity so that you don't get sore, that you can do whatever it is you're doing more consistently, and that consistency will then turn into a habit, and that habit will turn into a lifestyle, and that lifestyle will help you out. So I hope that helps. Yeah, Kathy, I'm with you. I need the daily weigh-in. It's just, and not only do I need it, but you guys know I put my daily weight. It goes to Twitter every morning. It goes to Facebook every morning. If I could find a way to post it automatically to connect, I would do that every morning. But there's no interface to do that. So it goes to Facebook, it goes to Twitter. Oh, and it goes to my website. You go to fatdag.com. The front page of my website, it tells you how much I weighed every single day. And if you click on my weight loss graph, it shows you all the history. So, yep. So I need that that daily accountability. Chris is gonna set his scale to kilograms. Brian, good evening. Brian says vitamin B and E. So what was, I forget what he's, oh man. Brian, spell it out. What did you call B and E? My brain's fried. Jan, you're welcome. Terry, good evening. Terry says, hey, FatDag. Yeah, so Liz, I work out because I feel awesome during and afterwards. I like getting stronger and being able to do more. Exactly. Alicia, I've been impatient in wanting to eat my daily points really early in the day. Someone on Connect mentioned that they make it a game to see how long they can go without using points. So I'm going to try that. Okay. Let me know how that goes. I don't have any input on that. I like to eat I kind of divide my day into thirds, really. That's kind of what I do. I eat a third, breakfast time between, 7 and 10. I eat a third from like 10 to 2, and I eat a third from like, 2 to 8 or whatever. I forget the exact time ranges, but that's generally what I kind of do. I just kind of break it up so I even them out so that I don't have lulls. I don't want to sit there being so hungry that then I get to the point where I need to go to digging in. So, but again, as I say all the time, if what you're doing is giving you the results that you like on your scale, keep doing it. That's how this plan works. Yep. So Robin, so that's perfect. So I'm glad you wrote that in, Robin, because those fluctuations are normal. And so if you're not at the point where you're ready to see them, then a weekly weigh-in hides them for you, and you still see the negative trend, and then that keeps you motivated. So the fact that you recognized it and then made the adjustment to do it the way that you needed to is spot on perfect. So very, very cool. Joanne says you need to weigh daily. You notice that early on you could be down every day of the week except your weigh-in day. If I only weighed on that day, I wouldn't know about the positive changes the rest of the week. Yep, I can see that too. Let's see. Yeah, my scale ranges 10 pounds, and I don't care. In that 10-pound range, I still keep on a medium t-shirt. I still keep a size 31 in the jeans. I still wear a size small underwear. Too much information, I get it. But all that 10-pound range, none of those numbers change. My 10-pound range, I still can run, go out and without any warning, go out and run 7, 8 to 10 miles. In that 10-pound range, I can go run 1.5 miles in 11 minutes. So the scale is about that much of my care in the world, the actual number. Now, there are some numbers that, when some of these other things change, then I'll look at the scale and go, okay, well, then maybe this is the number I need to get back to. But, yeah, so Steve's glad you're okay with me. We got in a little car accident yesterday. It was kind of fun. We were sitting completely stopped at a stoplight. And so it wasn't like one of those, like we came up and we stopped at a stoplight. We were there for, 10, 15 seconds or so. Just sitting there, minding our own business, waiting for the light to turn green, and then bam, man, we got hit hard. It was scary how loud it was. It was scary how how the impact, And what was interesting though is the car took it like a champ. The car, as hard as we got hit, I was expecting to get out and walk around and not see the back end of my car or my daughter's car, and so we walk around to the back of her car, and other than the paint, I'm like, did we even get hit? And like for a millisecond, I was like, maybe we didn't get hit, because the car looked normal, other than the paint, And then a closer examination, the bumper's coming apart a little bit, so it does need to have some work, and it's it's going to cost them some couple bucks, I'm sure. Let's see. So thanks for that, Steve. Yeah, glad. Let's see. Yep. So Robin, I'm very proud of you, Robin. You're working what you need to do for you, and that is the key. And so if you're trying to do something that someone else is doing because someone else is doing it, it doesn't work. Let's see. Yeah, I know, Steve. Sorry. Too much information. Not fun. Like fun, sarcastic fun. No, it wasn't fun. See that? So Chris, you continue to prove all. Chris, are you taking notes, Chris? Is that what's going on? Are you really paying attention? Because it sounds like you are. So that as soon as you put on a shirt that's a little bit that fits, again, you can always wear a larger shirt. So when you put one on that fits, that's when people go, oh, because a bigger shirt just kind of clings. You know, I could put on an extra large t-shirt tonight and you guys wouldn't even notice the difference, probably. You know, but this is a medium. You know, so, but an extra large wouldn't look that much different, even though it would. But then if I put on the medium, you would be like, oh, that guy looks thinner. You know, well, yeah, because I'm wearing the clothes that fit. So Chris, continue to do great work. Yeah, Crystal, we're all okay. Yep. We're, you know, hit hard and everything's good. So, a lot of water jogging stuff. Let's see. Yeah, so Robin's given all your members a fun goal to work on. That's exactly right. Stephen, no, I don't. Steven's asking if I want to do an Indy versus Chicago project lift challenge. You know, yeah, maybe we probably should do something like that, Steve, right? Team Indy and Team Chicago, something like that. It sounds kind of fun. But you have more people in Chicago. Oh yeah, Teresa, totally. The car's brand new. The car has 8,000 miles on it. It's getting checked out well. I promise you that. And because their insurance is paying for it, it's getting fixed properly. I completely agree with that. I know, Chris, right? This I love this community. This community is awesome. Scrolling through. You know, it's funny, Chris. Someone asked me that today. Is one of the a friend of mine does a lot of. He makes a lot of stuff for different companies, and so he asked me. He goes, "Do you want me to make a FatDag bobblehead that only goes left and right, doesn't do this? Just a FatDag bobblehead that does this?" And I laughed at him. I'm like, "No." So, but it would be kind of funny to see a FatDag bobblehead. Let's see. I did get, I went to and got little mini Legos today. Isn't that cool? I went and got a little Lego guy. So it's just my little FatDag Lego guy. I got a couple of them. I was playing around in the Lego bin for quite a while. My daughter was making fun of me. Let's see. Scrolling through. Yep, Chris, when you're out of points, stop beating points. So Brian posted on Facebook page. Cool. Yeah, so like a little, hey, like that, the Staples button, right? That said, what did the staple? That was easy, right? That was easy. So if we had one that says, when you're out of points, stop eating points. So, yeah. So, you guys keep asking me about, aren't these cool, Steve? Right? Chris, so yeah, what was I going to say? The t-shirts. No, not, a lot of people keep asking me for t-shirts and it's just not something I want to do, but I thought of an idea with t-shirts and I'll share it later. We'll just tell you that. I thought of an idea. And if I do t-shirts, that's the way I will do it. But so far I'm not interested in doing t-shirts. Logistically, it's just a nightmare. So focus button. So cool. All right, let's get a couple more non-scale victories written into the non-scale victory book. So tell me a couple more cool things, and then I will write them down, and then we'll wrap up the show. So let's see what we have here. We got 3 or 4 pages so far. It's pretty fun. All the cool things you guys are doing. An iron-on. So we have, let's see, we had Donna got off her diabetes medication on August 24th. Jenny Harris bought a swimsuit in a smaller size on August 22nd. Carrie went on a cruise and made great choices on August 27th. Jody Olson felt great in her back-to-school clothes on 8/25. Treva went from a size 20 women's to a size 10, and no more blood pressure medicine on 8/26. So, isn't that fun? Isn't that fun stuff? Brandy, I am live most days around 10 p.m. That's all I can tell you. I don't have a set schedule. If you follow me on Twitter, about an hour before I go live, give or take, I'll go to Twitter and I'll tweet out the fact that I'm going to be live. So that happens. Trying to think of where. I think that goes just to Twitter. So you'll get that notification. Facebook will notify you when I actually go live. I don't know if Instagram does that or not, but you have to actually subscribe to the alerts in Twitter and subscribe to the alerts in Facebook, and you'll know when I go live. And then lastly, if you go to FatDag.com, click Listen Now, become a patron, and you subscribe to the text alerts, you can pay for text alerts. I'll text you the moment I go live, which is what I've been working on. So, Devana, what does that mean? Said no to the sopadilla. I don't know what that is. What is that, Devana? Terry's in. Whoop, 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 whoop. Let's see. So yeah, let's get Crystal in here. So Crystal. Went from a 2X scrub pants to a medium. Medium. Like medium. Medium. Crystal, medium. Do you remember when you were wearing a 2X and someone you even saw medium, you're like, right? I mean, I know, man, when I was a 2X t-shirt, a medium t-shirt looked like this big. And what's interesting now is that someone came into my office the other day and handed me one of our new t-shirts for work, and they handed me a large, and I held it up and I went, whew, that's a big shirt. You know, so, man, your brain changes and you can get there. So, good job, Crystal. Very, very, very cool. I like this. April says she stopped auto dining. If you have to eat at a fast food place, you go inside instead of eating in your car. Take the time to make better choices and stay in focus. That's that kind of breaks that auto response, right? The auto response is, you know, things that we do automatically make it tough. So, man, Cindy, that is awesome. I love that. Cindy says her husband's going back to playing tennis after 20 years, and he asked why now, and she goes, I've been sitting here watching you get in shape. You are my inspiration. So that's pretty cool. Let's get that one written down. I'm going to paraphrase it, though. Cindy Downey has inspired her husband to get healthy after watching her very cool. Gotcha. How fun is that, right? So So that's what we do. We just kind of, you guys tell me what's going on. Look how much room we have. We have a lot more space. We can add a lot to this journal. We're just now getting started. So, but let's go ahead and wrap it up for now, and we'll come back to it tomorrow or next day, depending on when we go live next. So very, very fun. So Devonna, very cool. You explained those things. I had no idea what those were, and they sound yummy. Donated 7 bags of clothes. Good job. Gotcha. Got it. Very fun. Yeah, so that is Crystal. That's awesome. I know that. I mean, you saw my first picture of my military, right? I wasn't wearing a belt because it didn't fit. And then when it fit, it was so hurt. Painful. So yeah, that's great job. Very cool. All right, so let's wrap this up. Thank you all for being here. I have not tried the air fryer either. Maybe that's on the list. Maybe sometime. Who knows? So just for fun, one of my guys in one of my meeting rooms has a YouTube channel called The Awesome Cook. The Awesome Cook. And so that's his YouTube channel. I'll put it on Facebook tonight. But he does some air frying stuff. So very cool. I'll just share that just for fun. I bet you do. Vito's in. Very cool. Thank you guys. Thank you. So let's wrap this up. Thank you all for being here for sure. As you know, it's completely my honor to walk this journey with you. The reason I want to do this daily, the reason we're here is because this takes focus every single day. I learned on my journey that I couldn't just stay focused one day a week. I needed to be focused every single meal, and that required me to be focused every single day. So that is my commitment to you, is that I try every single day to provide something to you that keeps you focused on what it is you're doing, because you're doing amazing work. If you're here still, you're watching, obviously you are, it means you're focused. It means you want to get this done, and you have the ability to get it done. So Vito, thank you for being here. Saw you popped in. Hope all is going well with you, sir. And but all of you guys, continue to do the amazing work that you're doing. Continue to be the prize. Show other people how wonderful this journey is. Tell other people that you're having so much fun doing it, that you want them to join you, because then you start building an accountability team as well. So more than anything, this takes absolutely focus and determination, has nothing to do with luck. So I wish you the best of focus. Have a good night. See you tomorrow.